Welcome to the Sports Card Lessons Podcast. I'm your host, Big Ken. Whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on a streaming service, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. You'll be notified whenever I drop any new content. Welcome. Thanks for being here. How is everyone doing? It's a rainy Sunday here in New England this weekend. So happy to be recording this, but also today be able to sit on the couch in front of the TV and just watch football all day. Nothing else going on. For me, it's been a busy week here in the hobby. Just a bunch of stuff going on. I received a PSA order I'd been waiting on for a while. I received my Hunger Games cards that I talked about last week. I had a couple nice mail days. I've been ripping a ton of women's soccer. So I sat down this week and I put together an SGC order that I'll hand deliver to SGC at the Hofstra show this weekend. With the women's soccer stuff, I see a lot of people grading with SGC on it. The price is right. The turnaround time is very fast. And I'm going to give it a shot. With some, some of the stuff is PC stuff, but some of the stuff, like I said, I've just been ripping a bunch of stuff. So, at some point, I'm going to have to start selling some of this stuff. So, I figured I might as well, because I really don't know where the market's going to be. I talked about the women's soccer, right? I talked about last year at the National that it was just crazy. I was selling so much of it. And since then, it was hard to sell any. So was it because Women's World Cup was going on, or is it because it was the stage that brought so many people in that I had what most people didn't? So I think there was maybe 3 or 4 of us that were selling women's soccer there, right? And all of the National. So, we ended up being, just a little bit more proprietary on that type of stuff. So, maybe again this year at the National, maybe not, but I'd like to, I know there's a market for it. And I'd like to just stay in that market and keep moving those cards when I can. And on a down note, Black Friday, I purchased a case of blaster boxes of the Donruss FIFA Women's World Cup. I bought that online. It was a pretty good sale. It was a nice Black Friday sale. That showed up Friday. So my wife and we ripped the entire case, 20 blasters. Not one Trinity Rodman card in the entire case. It was unbelievable. She's been very absent in this product, and this is the newest product, and people are really talking about this product, especially, within the women's soccer. If you go in any of the groups, I mean, there's so many of these cards. People are putting these cards up for sale. They're excited about this product. They're excited about the cards themselves. But Trinity has been very absent in this product, especially the autos that are listed on the checklist. No one has seen one, not one for sale anywhere. None of the, eBay, nowhere. Like nowhere on the checklist. It says that there's all these autographed cards of hers, but not one has shown up. And I'm starting to see a bunch of posts on IG and Facebook, anyone just trying to confirm if anyone has seen a Trinity Rodman auto from this product. So that was a little, for me, PCing Trinity, it's a little disappointing. I talked last week about sorting out raw Topps baseball cards, the first Bowman cards from 2021, 2022. So I'm starting a PSA order for those, even though I'm still really mad at PSA. It's hard to deny the resale value when it comes to selling these ultra modern cards. I mean, graded in PSA slab versus any other slab. you don't pay that much more. You wait a lot longer to get the cards, but you don't pay that much more. But out at these shows, people still are willing to pay a premium on PSA versus any of the other grading companies. And I also, I mean, because I do a lot of grading with them, I also understand the inconsistency in the grading with PSA. And I talk to these guys at the shows, and they're always looking at these PSA graded cards, the PSA 8s and the PSA 9s. Um, and they're really looking to crack it out of the slab to resubmit to see, hey, maybe I can buy this, 8 or a 9, I can crack it out, wipe it down, and resubmit it. And I mean, some people don't even have to wipe it down. I mean, some people, they just crack the card out, put it back, send it right back in, and they're getting, some of them are getting better grades on it. Um, they tell me PSA, they have the most success doing this. Now, should I try doing this too when I don't like the grade I got? I got a bunch of 9s that came back. Should I crack it out, wipe it down, and send it back again? I mean, I haven't done that yet. And I just can't see paying again to have the same card graded a second time, even though it might come back with a better grade. Now, if this card was a much more expensive card, maybe I would think about it. But for most of the cards that I'm grading to resell, at shows, it doesn't make sense for me to do that. I'm getting the cards raw to begin with, so that price is low enough. There's profit built in right now for me to have it graded and sell it. So I'm really taking away from that profit, my own profit, if I am cracking this out and send it back in and hoping so it comes right back as a 9 again. I might as well have just thrown that money in the garbage, right? So for me, I'm really not taking those chances. It's just the way I look at it, just keep it moving. Keep them moving. Get the raw cards, grade them, put them out there, whatever they come back at. If somebody else wants to go through it, because now they're building it into they're going to build it into their own profit, right? Okay, I'm buying this card at this amount of money. It's going to cost me this much to have the card regraded. And if it comes back a 10, what's my profit level? And if it comes back the same 9, is there any profit left in it for them to do that? I don't know. I'm not sure how they're doing it, but for me, doesn't make sense to do that. So for business purposes and resale of any of the cards, I'll just go to any of the cards. Now, I just talked a little bit about SGC, right? To doing it SGC with the women's soccer. And I don't know if it makes that big a difference if they're graded in PSA and SGC with the women's soccer. But I know with baseball and football and basketball, I know that makes a difference because, I'm seeing these all the time at shows. I'm hearing these conversations. I'm having these conversations. I went to a local show in Enfield this weekend. I didn't make any deals. I did find 2 Patrick Mahomes rookie cards that I was really interested in, and I tried to work out deals for them, but both dealers were really kind of stuck on summer comps on Mahomes. And one of them, it was a more expensive card. I would have been willing to trade up and maybe, meet, an over comps price because I wanted the card, but the dealer was cash only and was over comps. So it was no sense getting that deal done. And, and it was a card that, again, if it doesn't sell, I wouldn't mind having in my PC. But if I was strictly buying that card for my PC, it may have been a different story, what I would have paid for it. But, for the football cards, I'm really, just buying to resell these cards. And what the price is, look, I get it. No one expects to lose money on Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I understand that, and we shouldn't, right? We really shouldn't. Nobody should, lose any money, on Patrick Mahomes. But one of the things I hear everyone saying all the time is, all he's got to do is make a Super Bowl run this year, and his prices are going right back up. Are they? I'm sure there's gonna be a bump, but, I almost think that his ceiling on his cards have been pushed up so high that now that they've come down with the rest of the market, if he does like how much higher can it jump back up again? I don't think there's that much room ceiling wise for that to jump back up again. And if you look at the pop counts on these cards and imagine how many people are going to try to move these cards when that happens, right? So he goes off, right? Chiefs are going back to the Super Bowl this year or next year, we hope, right? The prices jump up a little. All of a sudden, you're going to have all these people trying to flood the market, right? With all these cards that they've been sitting on that they were hoping that they were going to try to sell in the fall, and they never sold in the fall because the prices went down and they were underwater on the cards. And now all of a sudden, something special is happening there with the Chiefs. I could just see that coming. I could just see that coming. So I think this is one of those things with these cards is that, the market came down on a lot of players, but it really didn't come down that hard on someone like Mahomes. So if you can still be reasonably priced and sell these cards, right? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Okay, you might lose a few bucks, and if you're hard pressed and say, I can't lose any money on any player, it's kind of hard to be a dealer, right? It's kind of hard to be a dealer because as a dealer, we're all sitting on some cards that were underwater on when the market turned downward. And some of us were sitting and said, no, 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 I don't want to sell that because I think the market's going to come right back up. And not only did it not come up, but it went down even further. Right. So a lot of cards, you look at the market, and a lot of these cards, they're coming down. So I'll give you a for instance, and this is exactly what happened at this show on Saturday. Got a card for $1,500, right? I'm firm at $1,500 on this card. Well, the comp on this card, right? The last comp on this card was $1,390, but you're still firm at $1,500. Selling a card at $1,390, that's where the comp is, and if somebody's willing to pay you, it's kind of a good deal, right? From a dealer standpoint, someone wants to come in and give you the comps because most of the time on that card at $1,390, people only want to pay you $1,250. So if you've got somebody coming in, or maybe 1,300 or 1,310 or 20, right? But if you got somebody coming in that wants to pay you close to comps, and you're set up at a show, you should be in a position to be able to sell that. You shouldn't have to sit there and say, no, I want $1,500 for this card, which was the comp maybe in July and August on the card, and not here at the very beginning of December. So as a dealer, when I run into that situation, if I'm going to be like that, I'm not going to put the card in my case. I'm just going to leave it home. I'll leave it home for a better day. If I'm saying, why would I waste the space in my showcase to go drop a card in there that I want way over comps on and I want to be firm on? Not happening. I'm not going to do that. Real estate, is too precious at these shows. I would rather just leave that card at home and put something in there that I'm willing to sell and willing to move at comps or slightly under comps. I mean, we all moves cards over comps, right? But that generally doesn't happen ever. Mail day this week. My Hunger Games cards arrived. Very excited about this. I received 4 cards. I talked about this. So if you're on YouTube, I'm going to show you the cards I got. I got Gale, which is played by Liam Hemsworth, autographed. I got PETA, played by Josh Hutcherson. And These cards are there's the box of pins and there's a plastic bag and these cards are dropped in. So it's not like you don't know what you have. As soon as I opened the box, I could see the cards right through the plastic thing. So in one box, I got the Gale and the PETA, and the other box, I got the same card twice. I got Rue, who is played by Amandla Stenberg. Right, I ended up two of them. So anybody putting these in the box, they know which ones are going in. So unless if somebody wasn't paying attention or they're like, oh, sucks to be you, you're getting two of the same person. So I ended up with two. So it's a 10 card set. I still need 7. And I have one to trade. So if you know or hear of anybody selling these cards, please let me know. I'd be very excited to complete this set. And because there was only 400 of these cards put out there, I think it's going to be very difficult to complete this set, but it's something that I'm committed to, and I'm going to I've already got my saved my eBay save searches, and I'm ready to roll on that, ready to see what I can find out there. Another mail day, and I have to say, I mean, I like the eBay authentication, but I hate waiting so long for cards, especially some of these bigger cards. You buy a card and you get all excited to get it. One card that I bought and I talked about, last week, and I said, oh, I got a big card for the PC. It still hasn't shown up. That card still hasn't shown up. It just got authenticated and it should show up this week. But it takes so long to get these cards and you get all excited and then you're waiting. You're like, come on, man, where is my card? But the 2 cards that I got is that just came in a mail day. The first one's a 1980 top scoring leaders, the Bird Irving Johnson. It's a PSA 4 with the autos of a 10. Very excited to have that card. And I also got the 2021 Parkside Sophia Smith, the blue auto. And this one here will be heading to SGC this weekend to get graded. So excited about that. I've talked to a couple people, I posted this card up. People are like, oh, I thought you PC Trinity. You're PCing Sophia Smith too. No, I'm not really PCing her as much as Trinity. But the thing with Sophia is I think she's very talented. And her rookies come out of this Parkside, the 2021 Parkside, which was really the first year for the NWSL for these cards to come out, and they're autos. So I think moving down the road, any of these Parkside, these 2021, the blue or the purple autos, I think they're going to be valuable down the road, especially some of these players that, I think have a very bright future. I'll run through my PSA order. I received pretty quick. I got some some PC stuff. More soccer, Trinity Rodman. This was from the 2023 Parkside NWSL. This was the Linger. I just hold that up. So that is a pop 1. I was very excited. These cards are so hard to grade, and I was very excited to see that came back as a pop 1, as a PSA 10 pop 1. This was the kickoff foil from this season. This was another Trinity Rodman. This is also came back at 10. This is numbered to 99. I have a Katerina Macario. This is a Blue Mojo. This is numbered to 250. Also a PSA 10. This was the Select Trinity Rodman, the Select Future Pink. This actually was a 9. This one is numbered to 25. This came back a 9. I was really hoping for a 10 on this. This was one of the cards I really thought would 10, and it came back a 9. So a little disappointed, but again, it's just a PC card. And another one of these 2021 Parkside. This is a blue auto, Olivia Moultrie. This came back a 7. That's another thing about these cards, these Parkside, these first year 2021. They were so hard to grade. Really, really hard to grade. So some other things came back from PSA. I'm just going to go like a bunch of hockey that came back 10. I'm just going to go through the 10s of the hockey. Most of these were the upper deck. Tim Stutzel, PSA 10. Cole Perfetti, PSA 10. Quentin Byfield, all Young Guns cards. Matt Boldy, Young Guns, PSA 10. Also, Matt Boldy, the population count 1,000, PSA 10, and the upper deck canvas, PSA 10. Then I had a number of cards that came back 9s, which I almost expected on. I had 2 of them here. I had the Trevor Zegras, the retro rainbow blue. And this card is numbered to 199. And these cards don't grade well, especially with the stature too. So I have a Jack Hughes portrait. This one's unnumbered, but definitely, a good submission. It took a long time for it to come back. I mean, I talked about this a couple times, but I'm happy to have it. I have a show coming up, that I'm hoping that I can move these at. I still have a number of hockey left over from the, I told you I sold just a ton of hockey at Gillette, but I still have, probably still have 8 or 9 cards there. Another 15 cards here. So yeah, almost a full case of hockey. So I'm hoping I'll move. I'm hoping that, I can sell these and really not have to think about going to the Toronto Expo this year, and maybe use that, that money and travel to a different show, that may make more sense for me. But, we'll see. We'll see what happens with the hockey. I had a discussion with, a dealer up here at this local, show in Enfield on Saturday, and he was asking, he sells hockey, and he was asking me, like, I told him how well Gillette went, and he said, "Oh, because you're in Massachusetts, so it must be those Massachusetts shows." And I said, "No," I said, "It was really a lot of people coming in from Canada buying." But I notice up here, like in Connecticut, like, when you go to like the Mohegan Sun show, things like that, hockey is just not a big seller. For whatever reason, and hockey is a very popular sport up here. I mean, you got to remember, we have the Bruins and the Rangers and the Islanders and the Sabres, so we have a lot of professional hockey. And we did have the Whalers here in Connecticut years ago. So hockey is a very popular sport up here. It's just hard to sell. It's hard to sell. I mean, I guess, right, it is more popular than the women's soccer, right? So it's talking about hard to sell, but it's still a hard sell up here compared to crossing the border into Canada, how easy it sells up there. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with the market the next couple shows. I see if I can move any of these. I think once we get down to the New Jersey area, I think hockey sells a little bit better, as we start to move south, which really seems, kind of wrong, right? Up here in the north, hockey doesn't sell well, but start going south and it seems to sell a little bit more. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's hard to say. It's a finicky market, and the people who are into hockey, they may even be yelling at me. They're going to listen to this, and they may, send me some comments saying, "What are you talking about?" And I know, because I mean, I'm into hockey, and I want it to be more popular. I want it to be a sport that I can, really dominate at these shows. But if people aren't buying, it's tough to keep the investment going, right? All right, that's all I have for you. Like I said, I have a show next weekend. I'm doing the Hofstra show next weekend. So I'll be back Thursday, probably a little bit of getting ready for that and whatever else is happening in the hobby. I'm hoping to have a number of, two bigger purchases that I've made for the PC. I hope they're here. I can talk about them and whatever else has happened with me in the hobby this week. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in. And if you like what you hear, please definitely subscribe. And most importantly, tell a friend and spread the word. And until next time, take care of yourselves and everyone around you.